sure that you duck underneath the camera to not block that. And the mic that is in front of you is not, in fact, for this room, but it is for our viewers that are watching all of you live on YouTube. That is why you all can't hear my mic voice, but the individuals online can. So with that said, what is IncubatorWorks? Well, we are your local business incubator. And what does that mean? IncubatorWorks incubates businesses. Our mission is to empower an inclusive startup community. We help entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses through services, programs, resources, and connections. IncubatorWorks works with 3 groups of people in your community. We help adult entrepreneurs. We help college student entrepreneurs, and we also help high school entrepreneurs. Alfred State and Alfred University college students, today we are here for you. Many impactful moments will happen while you are here in Alfred, which will help build and define your character for a lot of who you will be for the rest of your lives. For example, this pitch competition that you have elected to be part of. Over the last several weeks, you have worked with your mentors and learned how to take nothing more than a light bulb idea, aha, and turn it into a fully developed idea with the help of your team and mentors and professors. Being part of a team and village like this, one, creates strength, hope, perseverance, and opportunity to all of you. You have learned to dissect a problem for your customer and turn it into a solution. The problem solving will be a tool you will use in many parts of your life from this day forward. Because you are here today, you are all leaders of today and leaders of tomorrow, and never forget that. Thank you, students, for stepping outside of your comfort zone and using your entrepreneurial spirit to create, innovate, and most importantly, do. Thank you to the IncubatorWorks board members who provide support to this competition inside and outside of the boardroom, as well as commit themselves to community growth. So thank you to Craig Clark, John Simmons, Bo Ruffin, and Mark Lewis. Thank you to our sponsors, Sealing Devices Incorporated, Lundstrom, the Center for Advanced Ceramic Technology, Western New York Wilds, Allegany County, Maple City Savings Bank, AU School of Business, Western New York Incubator Network, Alfred University and Alfred State College, and Accord. Thank you to the AHA committee for helping to steer this to today. So Craig Clark, Mark Bloxham, Mark Lewis, Jeff Stager, John Simmons, Dave Gottfried, Tom Murdoch, and then our IncubatorWorks team. Thank you so much to the IncubatorWorks team. A big shout out to Kimberly Bars. She is our Alfred program manager, and she is the one who has led this program. Thank you to Alfred University for being our host today. Thank you to Nick Davis with Genesee Valley Media and his team. Thank you to Brian Kelly behind me and AU with their technical support. Thank you to our judges right down here in front of me. So we have Brooke Harris, chairman of the Allegany County Legislature. Thank you, Brooke. Casey Joyce, former president of Otis, Minnesota, and Albert Rivera, business development officer of Pathstone Enterprise Center. Lastly, my last words of wisdom for the afternoon before we get this party started are actually not my words of wisdom at all. They are the words of the wisdom from an OG entrepreneur himself, Walt Disney. So the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. And with that, I will pass the mic over to Craig Clark, director of the Allegany County IDA, as well as vice president of economic development.
Thank you, Ashley. I don't have to thank anybody. I want to thank the students for participating today. I know she thanked you, but I want to even make a bigger thank you. You know, to be able to do this and come forward with your ideas, do the videos, and actually be able to answer the questions is amazing. I'm not sure I could have done it as a student. Why are we interested in doing this? I'm the executive director of the Allegany County IDA, Industrial Development Agency. Our goal is to build and help businesses in the county. And one thing that we need to really build on is the 3 colleges in the county. We want to make sure that they stay in the area, get committed to the area, and have entrepreneurial goals of maybe staying in the area and or working with the companies. Just a few weeks ago, we had a really nice event in the county, and one of your sponsors today, Lundstrom, talked about how they've completely changed their ways of doing business. I don't know if you know, but Lundstrom is one of the larger manufacturers in Wellsville, New York. And they've been around for 100 years. And 100 years, most companies don't last 100 years. But they've always done air preheaters, which are large-scale heat exchangers, basically as big as this building, for coal-fired plants. How many coal-fired plants are being built right now? Not many, right? So they had to change their whole business. They're now making what? Large-scale wind, offshore wind, excuse me. And they're making some of the platforms and some of the other components. Did they do that by luck? No, they did it because they're entrepreneurs. They have engineers that figured out a new business and changed their whole business model. And they did that within the last 3 years. That's an amazing story. And why did that happen? Because people are thinking way outside the box, like you're doing. And without that thinking outside the box, they wouldn't be around. They probably would not be in business. So they've actually doubled their workforce. They're up to about 400 people right now, and they're going to scale up to probably 500 or 600. And that's a big deal. So why we want you to think like entrepreneurs, even if you don't start your own business, you have to think like an entrepreneur to help the businesses you're going to work for. Another company we just talked to at that same event was Hardy Penrite. Anybody here of Hardy Penrite? Not many. We helped them through a micro enterprise grant. They make high-scale or a high-end upscale pens, sometimes costing as much as $9,000. So I haven't bought too many of those. But again, he's an entrepreneur. He's figured out his passion and doing something that's really kind of cool. And he travels all over, and most of his sales is internet. And so we have a lot of companies like that in Allegany County. They're very entrepreneurial, have changed their models of how to do business, and sometimes changed their whole model, and quite often are selling on the internet. And we don't even know they exist in Allegany County. We're hoping that some of you people and students today, once you graduate, will be some of those same people that stay in the county. Because most all of the businesses in the county started in the county, have grown in the county, and continue to thrive in the county. And why? It's a great place to live. It's a great place to work. And we're here to help you at the IDA. We've done some micro enterprise grants. What that is it helps small companies, either startup or small companies, 5 and less than 5 employees, and we'll end up giving grants. And grants are hard to get, as any entrepreneur knows. But we've been giving grants in the $30,000 range, which makes a big difference to a small company. And so let us know if we can help you stay here. And it doesn't have to be as a new company, but even in an existing company, is a great place to stay and work. And that's why we're here, and that's why we're excited about this program. And besides that, I'll make sure that you can do what you're going to do today and make sure we're all proud of you as students. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Kimberly Bars, Program Manager for IncubatorWorks. Next up, we have a representative for Assemblyman Joseph Giglio. We have John Eberth to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to be here as Assemblyman Giglio's representative to welcome the teams from Alfred State College and Alfred University to today's 4th annual Allegany County Startup Collegiate Competition. Thank you to Alfred State College, Alfred University, and IncubatorWorks for organizing this competition, but for especially encouraging the entrepreneurs we recognize here today. Good luck to all of the students competing. You are the future. It's your vision and your dreams that are going to drive growth, innovation, and prosperity for all of us. Surrender your dreams for no one. Never give up. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, therefore, is not an act. It's a habit. Make excellence a habit and have a great competition. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have the president of Alfred University, Mark Zupan, to say a few words.
Welcome, everybody. A little bit shorter here. This is the 4th annual AHA competition. We have many challenges around the country in this county, but we also have some wonderful blessings. We have 3 higher ed institutions in the county. When you look across the United States, there are probably fewer than 1% of all counties that have as many as 3 higher ed institutions. So part of the goal of this annual competition is to be able to better harness that talent. We're intellectual Ellis Islands in terms of importing human capital to the county and then seeing what it can do. The Millikan Institute that studied growth in different spots of the United States, the single biggest driver is higher ed institutions. So how do you turn these intellectual Ellis Islands into factories for development, for the economic well-being, socioeconomic well-being of the community? Just got back from a lunch. We have an accepted student day today, so we're welcoming in the next group of students. And it's interesting how the 3 points of distinction we touted at Alfred University also apply to this competition. We tout intersections, mentorship, and inclusivity. Entrepreneurs create intersections. Indeed, the word in French, taking one idea and transporting it to a new location. And it's always fascinating, the ideas that until somebody comes up with it, didn't exist. So want to applaud the teams today for putting themselves in the arena. President Teddy Roosevelt said the credit goes to people in the arena. So thank you for being there. And I read the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal on a daily basis. The Sunday New York Times, the two favorite go-to sections are vows, how people met and got married, and then the obituaries, the zigzags the careers took. And it's fascinating, the entrepreneurial endeavors and the ideas people came up with. For example, a couple of years ago, a billionaire came up with the idea for the glue on the inside of the toilet paper. It's got to be sticky enough for the paper to stick to the internal tube, but it can't be too sticky. Became a billionaire on that simple idea. Corning Incorporated, just down the road, they had some glass recipes that when Apple came calling, they started experimenting with one of those recipes, and it turned into Gorilla Glass. So sometimes it's already inherent, but figuring out how to create that intersection. The judges, the coaches provide wonderful mentorship and help navigate the entrepreneurs. And then last, inclusivity. As you build your teams, either in the process of presenting this entrepreneurial venture or later on any organization you're going to be part of or entrepreneurial endeavor, when scientists look at effective teams, it's teams that have built cultures where people feel they can try out ideas and that benefit from the diversity of the ideas that the different individual team members can bring to the equation. And just to drive that point home, psychologists do a study where they give teams a collection of odd stuff, like a noodle, a marshmallow, and the goal of the team is to build as tall a tower with this odd collection of materials and a marshmallow on top. And what ends up happening is when they apply this game to many different groups, routinely groups of kindergartners outdo all the other groups. They beat out groups of MBA students, they beat out groups of lawyers, they beat out groups of PhDs. Because kindergartners are willing to try stuff and fiddle around with different ideas. As we get older, we get more caught up with status. We look to certain people on the team as the leaders, but groups that are very effective are ones that can cull out the ideas from different perspectives and that create spaces where people feel comfortable doing that. So best wishes to the teams in the competition today, and being in the arena and being willing to bring those intersections to life, being open to mentorship and promoting inclusivity.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Vice President of Academic Affairs for Alfred State College, Carrie Coakley.
I'm even shorter than Mark. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of President Morrow, he is traveling today, so he wanted me to bring his good wishes to all of the teams and extend his congratulations to all of you. And I joined Alfred State about 7 months ago, back in July, and I remember when I interviewed, this competition had just happened. And I remember reading all I could about Alfred State and was really impressed that the two schools came together with the village and the town and IncubatorWorks to have this competition. And it really is kind of said to me, the collaborative nature of the place that I was considering taking my next position. So now that I'm here with you, I'm really excited to see our students, Alfred University, coming together. And as I reflected on sort of the importance of this in your careers, because some of you are probably going to go into the traditional workforce, not necessarily become an entrepreneur. But when we look at what employers are looking for in our graduates, it's that they can work in a team. It's that they can problem solve, think creatively. Obviously, the knowledge you get from your major is important, but a lot of the employers that I hear from, the industries change so quickly that you're going to have to be retrained either in a new technology or a new equipment by the time you get there. And so they're looking for those people that are willing to take a risk and sort of think outside the box. So win or lose today, you're all taking that risk. You're working together as a team, exhibiting problem solving, and then obviously taking the advice of your mentors. So want to congratulate you all as we start. Thank your mentors for the work that they did with each of the teams, and wish you all good luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Before we get started, I just wanted to let everyone know how we're going to do the presentations today. So we're going to show everyone's pitch up on the screen right here. And then as they're wrapping up, if the teams want to sort of get ready to come down, and we'll have you come here to answer the questions from the judges. So it'll be about 5 minutes of questions from the judges. And then when you're done answering the questions, we'll have you head out the room, and we'll have you do some interviews and questions with our staff there to get some interviews for you to see how your experience went. So we'll get started with our first team from Alfred University, which is Clearly Solar. The team consists of Natalie Collins, Business Administration, Cassidy Primrose, Renewable Energy and Engineering, and Brianna Dorr, Mechanical Engineering. Their academic mentor is Jason Morrison, a PhD Assistant Professor of Finance, and their industry mentor is Jennifer Burns, Director of Business Insight Center of the Central Library of Rochester and Monroe County. So thank you so much.
Has your business ever wanted solar panels but worried that it takes away from growth and sustainability of the agricultural industry? Or that they may not produce enough usable energy? Hi, I'm Brianna Dorr, and I'm a mechanical engineering major at Alfred University.
Hi, I'm Cassidy Primrose, and I'm a renewable energy engineering major at Alfred University. And I'm Natalie Collins, a marketing and communication studies major at Alfred University. It's your lucky day because Clearly Solar has you covered.
With our semi-transparent organic solar panels, you will be able to integrate renewable energy into the construction and development of window-oriented buildings.
Yes, they do already exist. Richard Lunt of MSU and Vladimir Bolovic of MIT first developed transparent solar panels. Currently, Ubiquitous Energy sells fully transparent solar panels, and Onyx Solar sells heat-treated glass solar panels.
Clearly Solar's semi-transparent solar panels have an efficiency rate of 7%, absorbing 60% of light. Organic semi-transparent solar panels are produced by combining polymer donors and small molecule acceptors.
Our organic transparent solar panels can work on already existing buildings. They are specifically used for buildings, windows, greenhouses, and car windows.
Our transparent solar panels absorb light that is not visible to the naked eye. This includes infrared wavelengths and UV. The layers of solar panels work together to generate electricity while allowing light to pass through. These layers are made up of conductive layers, semiconductive layers, and protective coating.
Regular non-transparent solar panels are being installed in do-it-useful farmland. These solar panels are occupying physical land in the agricultural community, which is taking away from its growth and sustainability.
Clearly Solar is eliminating that problem through our transparent solar panels. We will begin marketing through social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X.
We will also publish articles in the local newspaper and schedule interviews with news channels.
Finally, we will contact architecture firms, the New York State Department of Energy, and city officials to gain interest in prospective clients.
Our mission is to efficiently utilize an inefficient source of renewable energy.
Our solar panels can also be applied where they are now, but being partially clear allows more variations of crop growth energy. As you can see, our organic semi-transparent solar panels have unlimited uses, are easy to install, and the production materials are available with a low manufacturing cost.
We will accept orders through our online website and then come to the job site for consultation with final details to begin the installation.
After consulting, we will begin the installation of your semi-transparent organic solar panels.
We plan to charge between $25 to $30 per square foot of solar panels. In total, it will cost $40 per square foot with the addition of installation and labor.
For buildings, greenhouses, and automotive vehicles, we will charge by the square foot due to the varying sizes of possible job crews. In the first year, we plan to make $100,000. In the second year, $400,000, and in the third year, $800,000, taking on more and more ambitious projects.
Semi-transparent solar panels will be made to order depending on how large each project is. We estimate our monthly costs to be research expenses of $1,000, equipment maintenance of $3,000, office space of $1,500, and labor costs will be $9,000. Our total monthly cost will be between $15,000 and $20,000.
To start, we will need $200,000 for labor costs and equipment purchases.
If we were to win this competition, the money can be put towards more research to eventually create our first prototype.
Think about it. There are 5 to 7 billion square meters of glass surfaces in the United States, so the advancement of clearly solar is limitless.
Thank you for your support and for considering our business.
We thank everyone who has helped us prepare for this competition.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Are you the only one?
Yeah, my other teammates are also athletes, so they have sporting events that they're at today.
They owe you big time, don't they? I've got a couple of quick questions. Can you describe what the cost, the manufacturing cost, and I guess installation cost too of these panels is compared to what we know as traditional solar panels?
So the traditional solar panels, we would have to look more into the how much those cost more. I know ours, the semi-transparent organic solar panels, do cost a little bit more than the regular ones. It was like $10 to $15 more according to our research that we.
Per square foot?
Yeah.
Is that how you're measuring? Okay. And second question for me, I understand the concept of being able to farm underneath the solar panels. Does that ability require these panels to be either spaced further apart or constructed higher so farming can take place underneath them?
Yeah, so our main target audience would be for like skyscrapers, cars, like that type, like glass buildings, because they're semi-transparent, but you can use them in greenhouses. And if they were to be used like in the field, you would have to raise them up more. But regular solar panels now, they are farming underneath them, but there's very limited like crops and animals that you can place underneath them just because of the way they are designed.
Okay, thank you.
Could you expand for just a minute about the use of the panels? You had mentioned using these in place of the traditional solar panels that we see, but you also just mentioned skyscrapers and greenhouses, other buildings. Could you expand on that a little bit and how you see these being used in those applications?
Yeah, so because they are semi-transparent, we foresee them being used in windows on the skyscrapers, so they could be used letting some light through and not letting all light through, like absorbing the light in the place of that. And then as for the cars, you would use them as like the windshield or the sunroof, and it would produce enough like energy, like reusable energy to power the AC inside. That's as far as they've got with cars. And then for the greenhouses, it would just work regularly like a greenhouse, absorbing the energy and allowing them underneath to grow.
Okay. And for your initial startup and over the course of the first couple of years, do you plan on targeting a specific group of customers with that, or how do you plan on approaching customers and which customers?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we discussed as a group that we would want to target like the New York State Department of Energy, because to work with them, and then the city officials and like larger cities to more get them out to the skyscrapers. And then in a way you can target the agricultural industry because their usable farmland is being used. So we could partner with them to more push towards the city officials so that their usable farmland is being used for its main purpose and no longer being taken up by the solar panels regularly, or instead being in the city where it would be more efficient.
Thank you.
I'd like for you to expand just a bit on the marketing. I'm echoing just a bit of Casey. Why would somebody, this is just, if you have the answer, why would somebody, who would you target specifically? Because these solar panels are just a bit more expensive than, and I know that your marketing says social media, Instagram, all these platforms. What would be your specific target audience that somebody would invest extra money to have?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I think it would be more the city officials. I would have to do more research into who would, but I believe that the more city officials and the Department of Renewable Energy would be.
Okay, thank you.
50 seconds.
That's not enough. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
So next we have the campus forum from Alfred State College with Jackson Egg, architecture student. Actually, those are all architecture students. Eli Dunn, Jackson Volosic, and James McDonald. Their academic mentor is Susan Gorman, assistant professor of marketing. And then their industry mentor is Bob Fornes, the president and executive director of the Olean Business Development Corporation.
Hello, my name is Jackson. I'm Jackson Vlasic. And this is Campus Forum. I'll be having Jackson Vlasic lead us off into what it is.
Campus Forum is an online platform that connects students to jobs and services that local students need on that student's time. We have a rideshare service, a marketplace, an area for job listings, as well as an advertisement section. We are a way for students to get jobs. We are not Indeed. We're a way to find and give rides. We are not Uber. We're a way to promote student events. We are not a social media. We are a way to sell goods. We are not eBay or Marketplace. There are limited grocery options within the local area. The local businesses hire on a part-time basis. Student jobs are a very fixed work schedule and do not work with your student schedule, as well as want to increase attendance at school functions, local businesses, events, as well as student-to-student events. For example, for our carpool service, you have John, who's looking to take one person to Wegmans. For our marketplace, you have Joe, who's going to sell a studio model for $100. And you have Matt, who's a tutor for studio, who's willing to tutor you for $35.
Campus Forum's purpose is to help students connect with each other and with the greater community around us, and thus make students' life easier. Our customers are going to be students, the schools, local business owners, and the local community as well. The alternatives to our business include county cabs and Uber. However, these services are too expensive generally and have limited availability. We also compete with the Alfred Campus Shuttle, the Hornell Area Transit, and Access Allegany. However, since these are on a fixed schedule, many students will not be able to access these services. In the realm of job finding, there's LinkedIn, Indeed, and ZipRecruiter. However, these do not provide the jobs that most students are looking for in semester. In the marketplace, we compete with Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, and Etsy. However, these are not geared towards local transactions as our business would be. And lastly, for delivery, there's DoorDash, Grubhub, and Instacart. However, these services are too expensive and have limited options for where they can deliver from. So for our solutions, tying back to that situational analysis, ideally our rideshare service would go 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Our local businesses can cut down our hiring time via our review system. Students can get either part-time jobs, once-a-day jobs, or sell things on a marketplace. And we can also advertise for student and college events. So some of the benefits of our service, employment opportunity for students, student retention rate would increase, as well as quality of life would increase. And we can reduce the UIs in the area, as well as increase the success of local events in the local economy. So the advantages, our carpool service would be cheaper than the other options. Our on-call could be cheaper labor for locals. Our marketplace would be locally sourced goods. and our job search, once again, we can cut down on that hiring process. So ideally, we have this posted on Alfred State and Alfred University's web pages, with the large traction to come from word of mouth, and we would also post flyers at both campuses.
Now going on to some profit examples on how we would earn money ourselves. This would be percentage taken from transactions, advertisements, and post fees. Now looking at some of the revenue for year one, we're looking at 500 transactions and 10 advertisements, and then $2,223 in profit. All this money would go back to our company for advertising and other issues. And then in year two, we would look at a 100% increase, and then year three, we would look at a 40% increase. You might notice that our company profit is much lower, but this is because we ourselves are now taking salaries, and we have now increased and hired one extra person who's working at $14.20 an hour. Startup needs, we would need a website, both campuses endorsements, advertisement, and initial funding. Future opportunities, we're looking at a mobile app. It would bring a higher volume of students and be easier for students to use. An expansion and collaboration with other colleges and universities nationwide, branching away from just only Allegany County. And then what would we use the prize money for? Well, we would use this money to go into website costs and website domain cost. Alfred State College endorsement on our website and Alfred University endorsement on our website are heavily encouraged, as we will definitely need this for our company. This was Campus Forum. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys, for your presentation. Just a quick question off the start. You've got some pretty big names as your competitors. Uber, Instacart, all of those. How do you plan on differentiating yourself to not only your customers, but also the people that you're trying to attract to provide that service as well? How are you going to stand out from those competitors?
So ideally, this is geared mainly towards students, and our main market focus would be like small rural college towns, at least at first. And most of these rural college towns don't really have those options. Like we said, it's only a taxi service in this area, and it's very expensive, and they close pretty early.
I also believe that only 4 now around here has Uber.
And from a cost perspective, thank you for the revenue slide. How do you see yourselves able to perform at a lower cost basis than some of those competitors as well?
So the way we are going to set up our website creation is actually going to be fairly priced lower, especially in the beginning stage. Bringing up some of those numbers in that revenue slide, we have. So the actual creation of the website, our first year would only be $1,020, and then it does increase to $2,000 the next year, and then the year after that, and then any future years with mysiteteam.com, and they'll also help with website issues. I personally am not in a degree of making websites myself, but they do ensure that their websites will work functionally at a much lower cost than I've seen in other areas as well.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for the presentation. A couple of questions. Why website first? Why not mobile app first? It seems like that would be the go-to.
We actually don't want to work with the Apple Store right away because it's very expensive to create a mobile app, and then also working with the Apple Store, it is also very expensive to create an app and have it be running on the website or on that service. So having a website, it's a much less expensive option.
Okay. And second question, this is probably most related to the rideshare service and probably food delivery service. The Ubers and the Instacarts of the world struggle with, and more now than ever, I think, struggle with this concept of, are they employees? Are they, sole proprietors, and you're 1099ing them? There's liability and insurance concerns there. How do you guys plan to handle all that?
So we're not really going for a rideshare service. It'd be more of a carpool service. So they wouldn't be really employees. It would just be, I happen to be going to Hornell. Would anybody like a ride and make a posting?
Okay, and the revenue is streaming through you guys,
Yes.
right? But the person providing the ride is responsible for all of the money that's coming into their wallet on their end, and you're responsible for the cut of the revenue that comes to you guys?
Yeah, we would essentially just be like a payment platform for them.
Okay, thank you.
Good presentation. So have you done market analysis for this area on ride shares, and is there a market for it at night? Because that would basically be your bread and butter after 5.
So on the weekends, there's a lot of parties up here.
Okay.
And there are a lot of DUIs in the area.
Okay.
This would help cut down on that. And I'm from the area. There's been a number of times where people have called me up late at night looking for rides.
Okay.
And I hear about it pretty
How much do you
frequently.
charge?
Depends on how I'm feeling that night.
Hopefully it's not a 6-pack, right? So the other question is that in your projections, there is a small loss year after year. You guys have an idea how you're going to address that?
Yeah, so I used very, very low numbers for our actual transaction rates. I believe that these rates for transactions will be much larger than the set numbers I used. I just used some simple numbers to get the point across of how these fees would work. However, I could see, so for instance, year 1, I see it has 500 transactions. I could see somebody using this website in 1 year and going with 300 transactions, as they might have gone grocery shopping 300 times that year and picking up somebody's groceries for them. I think these numbers are actually much lower than what the reality would be if this website was to.
So you're being conservative on your projections. Okay. Okay.
5 minutes is up.
Great job. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We'll take a couple seconds before we play the next pitch so the judges can kind of organize their thoughts. The next pitch coming up will be from Alfred University, the campus smart parking, which we could definitely use. We have Andriy Maltsev, who's a business analytics major, Maxim Smirnov, a marketing major, and Ryan Way, a finance major. Their academic mentor is Gene Elfson, assistant professor of analytics, and their industry mentor is John Carmen, the owner of Bright Web Consulting. And don't forget to speak directly into the microphone.
Hey, my name is Max. I'm a finance and accounting major here at Alfred University. My name is Andre. I'm a business analyst and finance major from my freshman. I'm Brian. I'm a clinical psychiatry student here at Alfred University, and we're all part of Smart Parking. Alfred University campuses present a significant challenge for students in Playbook, causing frustration and inconvenience. The process of finding an available parking spot is often time-consuming and stressful, leading to lateness and missed opportunities. Moreover, the lack of real-time information on parking availability adds to the problem, resulting in wasted time and increased frustration among university members. Our solution is a smart parking system designed specifically for university campuses. The system consists of sensors installed right in our parking spots that can detect the presence of a vehicle. These sensors are connected to a centralized system that can be easily accessed through the mobile app. The app displays a map of all the spots that are currently available and which are occupied. Users can easily navigate to the nearest available spot, reducing the time spent searching for parking. Additionally, the app can provide a notification function when the spot becomes available in the desired location.
Our small size allows us to offer a personalized approach to our university customers, which will allow us to set us apart from larger competition. Unlike larger firms, we prioritize tailored communication. This personalized touch will extend our system as we have the flexibility to adjust and customize our smart parking solution to meet the unique requirements of each university. Along with this, our ability to provide the level of personalization sets us apart from the market, allowing us to forge strong relationships with our customers and deliver solutions that truly meet their needs.
So, how are we going to make money? To generate revenue, our smart parking system for universities would offer a subscription-based model. The initial cost per unit, including setup information and the installation resources, would be $45. Additionally, each unit requires the two batteries that can be replaced after 10 years of usage, totaling in $436. For a university with 800 parking lots, such as Alfred University, the total installation cost would be $36,000. Furthermore, a yearly subscription of $100 would be charged to maintain and update the system. After demonstration, we will finalize a contract with the university, requiring 25% down payment before installing sensors and creation of real-time model of university for the app. The revenue will allow us to cover the initial cost and the ongoing maintenance, ensuring the sustainable business model for both universities and students.
One of the most popular complaints from college students is the difficulty of finding free parking spaces on campus, and our system directly addresses this problem. With 307 colleges only in New York State, there is a significant market for our solution. Additionally, we have a data that about 60 to 80% of all college students have their personal vehicles, highlighting the widespread need for our product. The substantial market potential in New York State and the surrounding areas presents a significant opportunity for growth and real impact, as well as future expansion to the nearby states.
So in the first year, we're looking to start here at Alfred University, and in the following years, we're looking to expand to universities nearby and possibly up into Rochester. Our margins are looking to increase every year in the future, and then once we become large enough, we'll be able to offer more discounts and more deals to bulk orders and different universities and companies that want our service.
I'm good.
Thanks for the presentation, guys. I'm always looking to cheat the system, so I'm trying to cheat your system here. So who's to stop? I understand the model. I think who's to stop me from sharing my app with my 4 fellow suite mates? Say, hey, Brooke, I need a parking spot. Check on the app, see where one's available. In other words, you get your revenue from fees, user fees, right?
We work directly with universities. We get our subscription based on our maintenance of the system and updating the maps. So we get our money from universities directly.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood that. Okay.
Yes, our plan is for the app to be free for the students. That is part of the university's plan to enhance the experience for them.
Okay, great. And so follow up now so I can get on the same page with you guys. You charge the universities based on the number of spaces or a number of users?
So initial installation will be priced based on the number of parking spaces, and then the subscription has the fixed price every year.
Okay, thank you.
So I appreciate the clarification on the customer. So how are you going to convince your customers, universities, to pay for this and install it?
I don't know how many of you guys drove here today, but one of the main problems in Alfred and Alfred State is the parking and trying to find parking. And with this product, universities will be able to solve that problem and allow students and faculty and visitors the ability to easily look on their phone or have their passenger look on their phone and streamline the whole process, which will lead to less aggravation, less time wasted on trying to find a parking spot.
I noticed I was one of the parkers today, or one of the drivers, and I noticed that around campus there's a lot of different zones, faculty, staff parking, student parking, maintenance, etc. Would your platform take that into account when working through the spots?
So here at Alfred University, we have parking passes, and one of the abilities that we would be able to have is putting a chip in the pass, and then the university would be able to program it. So if this row of parking strip here from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., it's faculty parking. And then after 6 p.m. till 9 a.m. the next morning, it becomes student parking. So the university would be able to set that. So then each parking chip would be able to let public safety know that, okay, this parker is in the correct spot, or the parker's not in the correct spot.
Thank you.
So just a clarification question. This does not block a spot. Like if I want to reserve it, I can't reserve it. It just gives me an array of empty spaces. Okay, thank you.
The product is about 3 millimeters tall, and it will just sit in the parking spot or on a pole.
Real quickly, 5 minutes is tough, but is there any infrastructure required to set up these sensors on campus?
The only thing we need to do besides installing them is to make a mapping of the campus so we can, so the maps in the app will be up to date and updated. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm pretty sure all 3 judges today are parked illegally. I'm just letting you know, because these guys were on either side of me, and I know I was parked illegally. So, yeah, that's right. Yeah. You guys good? Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Very good. So next we have insights into answers from Alfred University. We have Sienna Selafouf, a marketing major, and then Emily Ecknell, also marketing major. Their academic mentor is Shelley Friend, who is associate professor of marketing, and then their industry mentor is John Adams, franchise expert for FranNet. So thank you so much.
Our business is Insights into Answers at the studio. My name is Sienna Sheffield, and I'm a marketing major with minors in accounting and business analytics at Alfred University.
I'm Emily Agnello. I'm a marketing major with a minor in healthcare planning and management, and I'm a senior at Alfred University.
We're trying to tackle the issue that many small businesses don't know their consumers. According to Salesforce, 63% of consumers expect businesses to know their unique needs and expectations, and small businesses just don't have the resources to learn what their customers want directly from them. And then even though there's been a surge in data these past few years, there's still a need to talk to people face to face to figure out the why they use the products they do, not just what they're doing.
Our idea is to provide affordable focus group services for small businesses and nonprofits. We'll also help them hear directly from their customers and help small businesses identify and reach their value proposition.
If our whole business model is based on small business owners knowing their consumers, we need to know our consumers. So we did a profile of small business owners. Nearly half U.S. employees are employed by a small business, and 59% of the owners are over 50, meaning they are in Generation X, and they don't know much about younger audiences. They also value function over frills because they're very utilitarian.
We're trying to bridge the disconnect between small businesses and their consumers. 84% of small businesses feel confident that they know what their customers are looking for. However, a site-wide constant contact reveals that consumers often disagree. Small businesses tend to fail because they don't know their consumers or how to properly engage their target audience. These businesses don't have the proper marketing resources to bridge the gap between them and consumers.
Our business is Insights into Answers, a student-run business offering primary research to small businesses and nonprofits in the Allegheny County area. The studio on the first floor of Olin, where we are housed, is home to a focus group room as well as an audio room with green screen and filming equipment. We would allow for low cost but professional work and insights for small businesses and nonprofits. IIA would offer focus group facilities and moderator, focus group script creation, student recruitment, focus group summary tables, as well as providing key strategies to businesses and organizations. Here's an example of a focus group script that we would create for them, as well as a part of a focus group summary table. We would then take all the main ideas and compile them into a strategic analysis for their company to use in their marketing.
There are many benefits into using insights into answers. Internally, for Alfred University, the department can use this business to run studies to better understand current prospective students and alumni. It also allows students to have hands-on experience and develop their research skills. Externally, like we said before, helping small businesses and nonprofits understand their consumers through research and affordable services. It also creates an opportunity for networking, for internships and projects between students and businesses. It also brings a community and the college together.
The average starting cost of a developed focus group company is starting at $4,000 and goes all the way to above $15,000. This price is not feasible for most small businesses and nonprofits, especially in such a small area like Allegany County. The city program to our student workers, and most colleges do not offer these trainings and certifications, and this provides us a competitive advantage. The message of our business is the name, Insights into Answers. We will conduct valuable research and services for small businesses and nonprofits that are looking to expand and improve, and we'll make it easy to hear consumers' wants and needs directly from them in a professional setting and really turn the consumers' wants, their insights, into answers for what these small businesses and nonprofits should do to grow their company.
So for distribution and communication, the studio will begin focused on business connections already held by the College of Business as well as IncubatorWorks. We will then expand to local businesses in Allegheny County and their surrounding areas. We're also going to utilize the Chamber of Commerce, nonprofit, and small business associations to find potential customers that need our help. The studio will also start relationships via email, then followed by a consultation with the business on Zoom or in person. After the services are complete, past customers will be kept in mind for future endeavors and kept in the loop via a virtual newsletter.
We wouldn't need much to get started, mostly technology, starting with an owl to record the focus group sessions where we can see everyone's faces, a monitor for note takers to view the focus group, computers for them also to view the focus group and connect to Zoom, as well as marketing materials to get our idea out there. In our first year, we hope to do 2 projects working with 2 businesses per semester. So this is 4 per year, and our revenue ranges from $6,000 to $9,625. The second year, we'd up it to 3 projects per semester, and in the third year, 5 projects per semester. With our revenue being at $20,000 to $30,000, we also imagine that we will have more student workers, as well as upping the rates for our services, as well as our rates for our employees.
For our direct mail campaign, we have a mock-up of the flyer that we would send to small businesses. We'll utilize the small business account shown on the left to see who needs our services. We are asking for support from the community as well as IncubatorWorks to get our name out there, as well as money for our website for our clients to access our services and see our prices, as well as money for us to print our marketing flyers, money to purchase necessary technology like our owl and the monitor, as well as our startup costs mentioned in the previous slide, and money to join the small business groups.
So what do you think? Do you want to invest in us?
I think you should.
Hi, guys. Thanks for the presentation. Ms. Agnello, you're a hometown girl, so you know that. All right, so thanks for saying Generation X, not boomers, or whatever you guys say. But as you know, a lot of our customers in this county, our small business customers, are in that older generation as well. How do you choose the participants in any given focus group, depending upon the type of business it is and the type of customers you believe they have? And then my follow-up to that is I just don't understand the structure of compensation for members of the focus groups.
Okay, so hi, thank you for your question. For recruiting for the focus groups, we have done it in the past. For our classes, we've done a couple focus groups for. So really we do it through word of mouth. Like we started by talking to a couple of professors in the College of Business, and a lot of people know people around the area. We would also put flyers up in town. And for the focus groups to compensate the participants, it would be mostly incentives, like we'd provide lunch, gift cards for for participating. Mostly the businesses would provide the incentives. And also there was a little editing mistake and our entire cost slide got cut out of the presentation.
We promise it's there. We spent a long time.
So
we did.
it would be, okay, perfect.
okay.
So one focus group would be about $1,500 for the customer. And then it raises if they want multiple focus groups, which it would be the same script and everything, just hearing from more consumers.
Okay, thank you. So the $1,500 for the focus groups, what are you actually going to be charging the businesses? Is that the $1,500?
Yeah,
Okay.
the 1,500 are cut, and that was with a 40%, about 40% profit margin. So our direct costs were about $800 something.
Okay.
And we're not going to W-2 our employees when we do get to the point we'll 1099 them, so we don't have to worry about the extra costs for us. So they're more of like at-will employees instead of being contracted where we have to provide insurance and other benefits like that. So we 1099 them.
Because it is all project-based.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And you mentioned putting together or helping the business put a strategic plan together based on what the focus groups are saying. How do you follow up with that? So you put the plan together, the business goes to execute that plan. Are you involved at all in the follow-up and tweaking that plan as necessary or trying to understand the results of the execution?
We are simply a consultancy, so it would mostly be up to the businesses. In the future, we'd like to also create surveys for the businesses and maybe some marketing mock-up services. But at the moment, we are strictly the primary research and then giving that to them to run with or possibly use an advertising company afterwards with the insights we give them.
We're providing them insights to then answer their own question. Pretty much. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
I need just a bit of clarity. Great presentation. I think it would be a great tool for small businesses. I do a lot of small business loans, and that's something that most of our business owners don't think about. You know, who's their target audience or who's their client. So one of the things that I do have a question. You spoke about a certification that you need, and what's the cost of that certification? And how long would that take?
Right now, we have a handful of students that are already certified because it is provided through the Human Subjects Research Committee on campus here. It's about, I believe, a couple $100 to get a student certified. But to start out, we wouldn't have to pay for any of those certifications because we have about 5 students that we would staff that already have it. And through the years, hopefully the university would pay for it for their students if they're able to take it in a class, but we also would fund that for our students.
So the business doesn't need a certification. It's the actual person running the business. Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
person,
Okay.
yeah, the moderators.
Okay. Thank you.
Just a little competitive advantage that we have.
Yeah.
All set?
Well, you guys gotta do have a little more time.
Go for it.
Any follow-up?
No, I'm good.
I guess if I got to come up with one on the fly, can you describe how maybe this similar service could be utilized in the public sector at all, in government or school or whatever? I know you mentioned university departments. Can you talk about government a little bit? She made me, by the way. I wasn't going to do that to you, so I'm sorry. Blame her.
Are you talking like nonprofits?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so a nonprofit such as in one of our classes, we are working with the YMCA currently, and we're doing a strategic analysis for them, which we can't talk about because the NDA, but we would be able to kind of research their market landscape because we do a little preliminary research to be able to create the script and then kind of find out how they can get their donors, how they can get more people in the doors if that's how they're getting their money. Basically, we'd hear from their consumers what they want from them, whether it's social media, things like that, to promote their company more, or the government, just how to better get in contact with their users, things like that. A lot of social media stuff.
She gave us most time. So do you not train, I think the word's not trained, but do you provide, like I know a lot of small business owners that just don't have the knowledge or about this. Do you provide like a session or a workshop for the business owner to see why this is important? That would be something that you should include because it's really important that they know why this is so important. Is there something in your structure that you...
Yeah, so thank you for the question. We actually have an initial meeting with the small businesses first, and we kind of gather what they're looking for. So then therefore we kind of find information to answer their questions. And then once we find our information, we show them, this is the information that we've brought to you, and this is why it's important For example, if they need to know how to target proper audiences, we'll show them research that we found based on what audiences like to get their message across. So then we'll show them that way and then put it into answers with our focus group.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Next up, we have Made to Fit from Alfred State College. We have two business administration students, Leslie Chavez and Journey Beecham. Their academic mentor is Mark Bloxham, PhD, Associate Professor, and Department Chair of the School of Business.
Welcome. I'm Leslie, and I'm Journey, and together we are Made to Fit. There has been a noticeable shift in the recent years towards prioritizing health and wellness. There's also been an increase in exercise and healthy lifestyle choices. Casual athleisure has been known for only sharing its clothes, but there's a lack of access for events specifically, so Made to Fit. As a mayor, do you know what you're looking for when you're shopping? Do you look into the quality of your clothing? According to Google Trends, over the past 12 months, there has been a wide range of searches for men's apparel versus women's apparel, reaching its highest peak in December 20 through 30 with a ratio of 100 to 10 searches. We know men want to feel good, look good, and be comfortable. You can find these three things in Made to Fit. For year one, we are looking to offer to high-income and physically active men, ranging from ages 20 to 30. For year two, we are still targeting individual consumers, but also by year three, we would like to switch to business-to-business transaction. For our customer discovery, we created a social media poll asking questions about what our consumer would prefer. We introduced questions like, what is the most favorite activewear and what style do you prefer in your clothing? 62% of men said they value quality over price. 70% of the men said they prefer a looser, comfortable fit. This is our product that Made to Fit has designed to specifically fit our customers' needs. Our competitors would be Nike and On. These competitors use harmful fabrics such as polyester, and this fabric can specifically be more harmful to athletic wear because heat releases polyester chemicals like antimony oxide, which is a known carcinogen. When dissolved with sweat and absorbed by the skin, it can also cause heart, liver, and kidney disease. This can also cause skin irritation, which provides an uncomfortable experience for consumers in the long run. Unlike our competitors, Made to Fit provides 50% cotton and 50% regenerated nylon blend. This eco-friendly mix of fabrics offer a flexible and sustainable alternative. Our customers will be purchasing comfort, sustainability, and functionality. Our advantage plus benefits to consumers will be having style, feeling comfortable, and boosting confidence in men. For our marketing, we will be using social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook ads. We will also use these social media outlets in order to reach out to fitness influencers that target our certain niche and sell them complimentary PR packages of our products in order to gain exposure. We were also interested in opening a pop-up shop event near high-end gyms. Our distribution plan will consist of having a manufacturer that produces the clothing and adds logo. We will receive the shirts and ship it directly to consumers with an $8.95 shipping cost. Orders over $100 will receive free shipping. For year one, we'll be making a gross profit of $12,000. By year two, $24,000, and almost shipping with $61,250. The price in year one per shirt will be $85, and by year three, we'll increase the price to $95. The $5,000 will make a huge impact for the start of Made to Fit. $1,500 will go towards paid advertising on social media, while also including the PR packages to fitness influencers. $1,500 will go to the inventory. Another $1,400 will cover the shipping costs by USPS, and for eco-friendly packaging, which would cost around $600. We would also want to be connected to a retail mentor and a website developer. Made to Fit will open the atmosphere for reinvention and athleisure. Our overall goal is to represent comfort, sustainability, and style. We want to give a big shout out to Mark Blossom for Thanks for watching.
Good job on the presentation. Thank you. A couple questions off the start. Your main product is, are you going with the shirts or are you doing other clothing options as well?
So for now, we're starting with shirts, and then we would like to expand on different types of clothing.
Mhm.
But it's mostly athleisure wear.
Okay. And I know that branding is a major part of that, and I like the comfort, sustainability, and style. Can you talk a little bit more on and you're probably more focusing on social media. How are you going to get your brand out there?
So things like TikTok, there's an active plan for like banning TikTok. So, people are gonna be wanting to introduce the topic on like other of our competitors with harmful fabrics like polyester. So TikTok will, introduce the idea of, good fabrics.
Thank you.
Adding on to that, so we would be doing Facebook. Facebook has a 80.80 per view, and then Instagram is about 60 per view, and then TikTok, as she said, there is an active plan for a ban. So there's a lack, and people want to go to TikTok to see what's going on, and people are mostly into TikTok right now. So that would be our target.
Thanks for the presentation. Just because I don't know, maybe you can describe it to me. So I understand social media marketing, and I understand you've targeted a specific market group. How does that work when you are spending limited funds with your startup to ensure that your message is getting targeted to that group, which is that 20 to 30-year-old rich guy group?
So we've mentioned companies like Equinox and, high-end gyms to, reach out to them. That'll be a start, and, selling our shirts and also partnerships would go as that. So.
Okay, and if I can follow up on that. So this is an argument that I've had with some of our tourism people, the influencer thing. So there's this phenomenon now, right, where you could pay an influencer to wear your product, right? Do you see that as a valuable marketing tool, or do you think it's just a bunch of tricksters out there getting stuff for free?
Well, it would depend on what type of influencer we are dealing with, but I think it's a great way to expand because other people see others and they want to be like them. The first thing that they see is appearance and looking good. So it would definitely, I feel like it would be a great idea.
Thank you.
So my question is for my segment group, which is big, okay, older, right? I'm no longer 30. Is there anything that you would probably think about this segment group other than the 20 to 30 years old? Because we potentially have more spending power than younger, and then we're big. So t-shirts sometimes are a hard thing to get that we look good in.
So yeah, we're thinking about, like we said, expanding out to, the older demographics. But for now, our targeted consumer would be, younger people, just for the higher quality, because I feel like they would understand more about our product.
Can you touch on the distribution of the products a little bit more? So you're sourcing them. How are you sourcing them? Then how are you getting them to the customers?
So we are hiring a manufacturer, and they are going to be making the shirt, and they are also going to be adding the logo. Then we would be getting the shirts to wherever we're located, and then we're distributing them to the consumer.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Pioneer from Alfred State College. We have 3 sports management students, Nick Valentino, David Harrell, and Evan French. Their academic mentor is Tony Aquilina, sorry, I was practicing this earlier, assistant professor of sports management, and their industry mentor is Bo Ruffin, PhD from Corning Incorporated, senior research manager, laser processing research. So thank you.
I'm David Harrell. I'm Nick Valentino. I'm Evan French. And we are Pioneers. Between the 3 of us, we have over 38 years of experience, whether it's playing or coaching football. We are NCAA Division III athletes at Alfred State, and we also have NAC 2 championships with our belt. We play all sides of the ball, defense, offense, and special team, so we know what it takes to be successful in the sport of football. Whether a sport or a presentation, we all know that practice and prep time is precious. Effective communication and practice is vital to success on the playing field. Currently in the sport of football, there's no effective way for a coach to communicate with his players from an aerial view. As of now, the best they can do is be at ground level with his point of view. Current solutions are hardware firmly installed into their helmets and should play no wire headsets. The issue with these is that they only have one way of communication, overpriced, non-durable, and our solution to this problem is the Pioneer. This is an audio device that is easily taken in and out of your football helmet during practice that allows two-way communication between coach and player. It is powered by radio frequency technology and allows communication throughout the football facility from press box to the field. If you're installing the Pioneer device, first you want to take the anchor part, insert it on the side of the helmet. We just want to turn it. There you go. Dave, there should be moving flat. Your coach. Pass. There should be probation. Move up. Good on. Go. This is the upgraded design that we have in mind. This right here is a sneak peek. So, firstly, the PTT button. It's also known as the push to talk button, and that allows for you to communicate player to coach. The electronics are also covered in a hard outer shell that is coated in rubber to protect the user. Instead of using a regular micro USB port, we decided to implement a C-type internal charging port. Internally, we've also implemented an Arduino transceiver kit, and the rubber attachment that is used to connect to the helmet has been upgraded to be better form fitting and more universal. Next up, we have our finances. Starting with our monthly overhead at $450 per month, this includes our rent and our labor needed to run the business each month. Our product cost for the upgrade version of the product, as you just seen, is $161.49 for a team set, which includes 5 player devices and 1 coach's device. We sell this product for $650 per set, which is fair in comparison to our competitors, which start at nearly $1,200 for 1 player device and 1 coach's device only. We do this all while staying at 75% profit margin. Our first step in our marketing distribution plan is to use our networks in the football community in our hometowns, Rochester, Buffalo, and New York, to reach out to teams to give them free trials. We would use these free trials to obtain critical feedback in order to upgrade our product and bring it to retail. Once we have new retail, we plan to sell our product directly to high school and lower tier collegiate coaches, as they are our target market of Pioneer because of the affordability of our product. Once our business is established in the retail space, we plan on doing live demonstrations at coaching seminars and expos to coaches who are interested in benefiting their team and themselves. Looking ahead to the future of our company, year 1, we plan on applying for small business grants to fund the startup of our business, finishing the design and prototyping phases of our product, and conducting market analysis through free trials and the feedback we obtain from them. Year 2, we plan on updating the product through the feedback that we obtained the year before, starting in a retail space and selling to 15 different teams inside the New York region. Year 3, we plan to update the product once again through the feedback we obtained from customers, expanding our sales region to the entire Northeast and selling to 25 more teams. Year 4, we plan to update the product once again, start the reconditioning phase of our product at $120 per set, and sell it to additional 35 teams. As you can see on the right, we do not become profitable until year 3, but from the future on, we are exponentially profitable.
Further ahead into our company's future, we also are aware that football is not the only place that our wearable technology can be used. We hope to also one day include devices for other covered sports, first responders, military, and even ones for people with sensory needs.
Thanks for the presentation. 2 questions for you. One, can you describe the differences between the product you described and your competitors other than price, if there are any? And then can you clarify for me, it's push to talk on the player end. So if that's the case, are they not able to communicate with, say, the booth while they're mid-play? Or if they would, in other words, they'd have to be holding it down? Or do you press it and let go and then you're sending signal until you press it again? How's it work?
So first off, can you repeat the first part of the question? I apologize.
What's the difference with your product compared to competitors' products other than price?
So the difference between our product and other ones is that first off, the price point is way more affordable for teams like high school teams that are like struggling to make money for like equipment in general. And also that it allows like it doesn't have to be in the helmet the whole time during practice, because a lot of the other ones are wired up headsets. So there's like a wire literally through their jersey up into their headset, or it's permanently into the headset. And those, they can only have one way of communication because of different regulations for in-game things. And this is majorly a practice aid. So it's only for practice and to kind of make it like a game-like situation in practice. And I apologize.
Push to talk.
Yeah, push to talk. So yes, it would be like, after a play is done at practice, the coach would talk down to its player, and the player could like basically like share feedback on what the coach just said back up to him. So it's not like in play, but it's like in between the plays in practice.
Okay, last question.
Yep.
Can the coach speak to say all 5 at once, or is it individually?
So yeah, so based on the coach's transceiver that he has up in the booth, you can talk to all 5. You can talk to individual players within those 5. And then all players can talk back at this, like to the coach at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for the presentation, guys. This is primarily, or the plan would be to use this in practice.
Yes.
Would teams then need a different communication platform to use in games, or how do you see that?
So this is merely like a preparation for the game. So a lot of the times, like as players, we like the parts of practice that are game-like scenarios, like you're in game, but at that time, you still have a coach on the sideline during practice talking to us, but they're not as close to in-game as they could be, because usually the offense coordinator or defense coordinator is up in the booth during the game, looking at an aerial view and like a formation of a defense. He can't do that in practice because he has to be able to talk like I have to be able to talk to you during practice. This allows the coach to be in a game-like scenario and also be able to talk to the players on the field. It's mainly towards the coaches, allowing practice to be more efficient and easier for them.
Okay.
And, sorry to add on to that, just for like an example, I know like when we come up the day right before a game, our coaches will grab their headsets and stand on the field, but this now allows them to do that any time of the week. So.
Okay. You mentioned reconditioning on one of the slides. What do you think the product life cycle is, and how do you see? I mean, are the customers paying for the product, or is it a license? How does that part work?
So the customers buy the product, And every 3 years, we expect that it'll last 3 years of just in-season practices, which is usually like 4 to 5 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day. And we expect that to last 3 years and with like minimal like damage and stuff like that because of the durability of our product. And after 3 years, we just ask for them to send it back to us, and products that are damaged beyond the point of being able to use it anymore, we will replace those. And other ones, we will like I said, recondition them and like make them usable for practice again. Kind of like helmets. If you've ever known, there's actually a sticker on the back of each helmet, and there's an initial season for that helmet, and there's only like a certain amount of lifespan for the helmet. And after that, they either have to replace the helmet or get it reconditioned to the point that they can use it again.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great product. I was seeing that when you put into the helmet, it seems not to be that like stuck in there.
Yes.
Does it pop out? Like if
So this is actually the first prototype we've ever had.
Okay.
It's actually Bluetooth based, and that's
Okay.
kind of why we changed to radio frequency because
Right.
of like range of Bluetooth and stuff like that. And this is the product that we've been using. It's actually an old mouth guard. If
Yeah,
you've
that's
seen
what I was
that,
saying,
we
yeah.
cut up because we had the idea that like during practice we'll put our mouth guard in the ear hole, like hold it there while we like talk to somebody, and it stays fine. So it's not perfect right now, but the design that you saw, the 3D design, is actually fit, and we measured everything out to like fit more securely in the
Okay.
helmet, and it's
Okay.
more flush with the helmet. And it doesn't stick out as much as this does, as you could see, and it's just more flush and more convenient as well.
And who pays for the reconditioning?
So the team pays for a set of 5 that they buy from us. It's $120 per set, and the team would just pay for that. Like that's what every year, like a high school football team, for example, sets off their helmets to Rydell. They pay for them to be reconditioned, and then they're sent back. So this is like a normal like process that teams are familiar with now, and so that's what they would do with our product.
Can I add more than 5
Yes.
to the system?
So the transceiver that the coach has is expandable to as many as you would like.
Oh.
And it's just the fact that we want to keep our
Mm.
price in budget of a high school right now. So we only give them 5, which is enough to give to like your team captains,
Right.
such like that. So
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, great. The next team we have is the Mental Playbook from Alfred University. We have Gabe Elday, for a psychology major, and Kenneth Allison, a marketing major. Their academic mentor is William Shibuya, a PhD assistant professor of marketing, and their industry mentor is Lionel Legri, owner of Cuba Restorations in Cuba, New York.
What's up, everyone? My name is KJ Allison, host of the Not Even D2 podcast. I major in communications, and I have minors in sociology, social justice studies, and coaching. I'm also on the men's basketball team here at Alfred University. And I'm Gabe Elday. I'm in the process of launching my own podcast called the Mental Playbook. I study clinical psychology and minor in marketing. KJ is one of my closest teammates, friends, and my roommate. He's been helping me start this podcast and with everything that comes with it. He's also the pilot episode guest, but more on that later. In a study by the American College of Sports Medicine, it was found that about 33% of college athletes experience mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, burnout, and eating disorders. Of that 33%, only 10% seek help. Why is that? This is because mental disorders and conditions develop through a combination of genes and life experience. People who are in stressful conditions such as athletes and performing artists are more likely to develop these mental conditions and disorders than those who aren't. To make that worse, our culture and environment create a sense of fear and not willingness to share about the struggles that people can't see. Athletes and their support systems will be interested in listening to the Mental Playbook. As Nike's mission statement says, if you have a body, you are an athlete. And that rings true here at the Mental Playbook. Anyone who's in the life of an athlete or performer can benefit from listening to this. This includes teachers, professors, coaches, parents, even friends. There's a million different podcasts.
and quite a few unethical performers hosted by people much more qualified than myself. But it's kind of like a pizza and ice cream shop competition where there's enough demand in the audience to go around for everyone. And podcasts tend to collaborate with one another, which usually ends up in a win-win for both parties. Through interviewing people who have stories they want to tell and tools they want to share to help others, along with interviewing people who are professional and can educate us on science-based practical advice, we're doing our part in solving this issue. What separates this podcast from the rest is the unique perspective I have as a current student athlete who's learning how to become a professional in this field. That, along with the Allegany community and Alfred University, people need to hear that it's okay to not be okay. This is a chance to increase empathy, and if anyone can do that, that's a really good thing.
Using RSS provided by the Wolf Radio Club is super easy to distribute on all main media platforms and all social medias with just a couple clicks. This podcast is obviously not about the money, and we're providing a safe place for athletes to speak up about their mental issues. To generate any revenue for podcasts, it takes a long time, but that is definitely doable through monetization on certain platforms, advertisements, sponsorships, and much more. So right now, Wolf Radio Club is providing all the equipment to make our podcast sound professional. But obviously, we're not in school all year round. We will need to buy some equipment and some startup software to make our audio and video match up together and sound professional.
I know that podcasts aren't money makers to start, but through increasing empathy and just helping people feel better, we think that's more valuable than revenue. But we also think that we're going to make revenue in the future. Podcasts grow the most through word of mouth. I ask that you tell people that you think might benefit from listening to this podcast to keep an eye out for its release in May. I also ask that you check out Not Even D2Os if I get them. If you want to check out the Mental Playbook's pre-release pilot episode, go ahead and scan the QR code. And please consider the Mental Playbook for this year's AHA competition winner.
Struggling to make ends meet or be too piled down with work they have and just not enjoying life. So I really started to think why is most of the people I know like that? And when I first got here, there was somebody that spoke in one of my classes, and it was about why we procrastinate. And the thing she was talking about was we procrastinate because we see those big papers we have to do, and we just I'm not gonna start that right now. My mind's not ready for that. Yeah. But what she recommended is just break it into little tasks. So what I started doing is just I'm gonna plan out my day, and if I have 20 minutes to write an introduction paragraph, that's great for me.
Thanks, guys, for the presentation. And as a chronic procrastinator, I appreciated the clip there at the end. So thank you for that. A couple things. I can't remember the phrasing that you used. Was it pizza and ice cream to talk about the podcast? How do you plan on getting your name out there? How are you going to market and try to increase the number of listeners that you're going to have?
Well, through social media is definitely the biggest part. But I think starting in this community and just interviewing people from around here and word of mouth through here is going to be a great startup to growing listeners.
And to add on to that, I have my own podcast right now, and just through one interview, you get their fan base or following their friends to start watching your show, and then it just gradually increases over time.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. And then thinking about monetization, are you planning on bringing in advertisers at the start? Are you going to do that eventually? How do you see that part of the revenue stream coming in?
Yeah, so like I said in the presentation, our main goal is not to gain money right away, because it's just about providing a safe spot for athletes and others to feel comfortable expressing their like challenges they've been through throughout their career. But podcasting is a growing world right now. It's almost supposed to quadruple in the next 4 years, from 18 billion to about 120 billion. So we know that through monetization, it's able to grow that money.
And it's also harder to like you need an audience to get advertisers, so it's not really a priority to start. But once the audience grows, that's when we'll start with that.
Understood. Thank you.
Good presentation. I think there is a lot of people that need this. But right now, I think you said in your presentation that the time that you get like in the studio where you do the recordings, it's for free for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the equipment, editing, time.
And how long will that last? Like
till summer, like when
Okay.
we're in school.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
gonna be our initial fees, is just gonna be buying equipment for when we're not.
Okay.
Like when summer hits.
Okay. Thank you.
A couple questions. First, these platforms, do they charge for you to be able to reside and put out your podcast on their platform?
You mean like Spotify?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
No, they don't. No.
And is there any way within those platforms to increase your visibility within it? In other words, like I know if I go on Facebook, I can pay for a Facebook ad to increase my Facebook post visibility. Is that the same with these podcast platforms?
I'm actually not quite too sure if you can increase your visibility through those media platforms, but through like TikTok and the apps you're talking about, Facebook, Instagram, we're able to put our clips there, and hopefully that just gains more audience through that.
Okay. Now, and I know you say you're not super concerned about monetizing at this point, but pretend you were.
Yeah.
What would be your strategy for, as Mr. Joyce said, really ramping up listenership right off the bat, beyond word of mouth and social media?
So we're both part of SAC. It's the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. And we've already talked with like our advisors and our president. And they agree that it's like a great idea to kind of implement more stuff about mental health into SAC and like our social media pages and just our club. So that'd be a great way to start. Do you know what Patreon is?
Yes.
So that's another way that we've considered growing to start as well.
Thank you.
Got time? So I'm thinking about the summer. You know, people disconnect and then they try and connect again, and you may lose audience during the summer. Is there anything you guys could do in the summer to keep your audience engaged? Have you thought about the summertime? I mean,
Are you assuming that we won't be putting out episodes in the summer?
yeah, that's what I understood with the presentation, that you would end in before summer and then come back. No.
Sorry, that's on me for making that not clear. So the summer hitting is only about, like, the only part of that that's really significant is that we're gonna have to buy equipment. Like, we're still releasing episodes during the summer, so I don't anticipate a disconnect.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, the last team of the afternoon is Vitum Everlasting from Alfred University. We have Caleb Leswing, a mechanical engineering student, and then Montana Weedman, material sciences. Their academic mentor is William LaCourse, PhD, Emeritus Professor of Glass Sciences. And then their industry mentor is Al Vasquez, Executive Coach and Strategy Advisor.
Hi, my name is Montana Weidman, a material science engineer with a minor in chemistry.
My name is Caleb Leswing, a mechanical engineer with a material science minor.
And together we are
Vitum Everlasting. Founded in 2024 in Alfred, New York, we are a glassware company that is passionate about long-lasting, durable products that will make you never worry about dropping glass again.
Broken glass is a home and business front hazard for pets, children, and the adults that inevitably must clean it up. Restaurants and bars replace an average of 50 to 100% of glassware each year due to scratching, breaking, and chipping. The average U.S. restaurant stocks almost 300 glasses, spending up to $1,300 in supply replacement each year, making restaurant glassware a $1.4 billion industry. To reduce expenses, businesses have turned to using the alternative plastic cups, a choice that, while cost-effective, tends to convey a less refined ambiance and aesthetic and introduces new hazards like leaching of microplastics into short wear time.
In the United States, 69% of recyclable glass is sent to landfills annually. Unrecycled glass accounts for 5.2% of landfill waste, making up 7.6 million tons of glass each year. Our process will prevent glasses from making it to the landfill and reduce this number, saving glass from becoming trash in the first place.
Competitors on the market claiming unbreakable glassware like Vitum are offering tempered glass, which still breaks, but just breaks safer. Other competitors like Flawless are making glassware from a robust, heavyweight plastic that closely mimics the appearance and feel of traditional glass, but is not glass. Our glass will not break when drop or impacted.
You may have heard of Saxon Glass, who uses ion exchange glass in EpiPens, which has increased the success rate of administering epinephrine from 58.3% to 94.8%. We use a more efficient ion exchange process. Pending, we present a new line of glassware and dishware with an engineered glass surface to ensure that neither you nor the glass is stressed when drop.
In our innovative glass production technique, we harness ion exchange to eliminate the inherent stress typically induced during cooling, resulting in an unbreakable product. Simultaneously, we integrate copper ions, imparting the glass with antibacterial and germicidal properties that eliminate all surface germs and viruses. This dual action process not only enhances durability, but also significantly lowers the risk of illness spread and cross-contamination, all while adding an attractive light blue hue.
Our customers will be able to choose from 2 dishwasher-safe options: classic Vitum Everlasting Clear and antibacterial Everlasting Blue. Using our glasses, customers will be able to host sophisticated dining experiences without the hassle of broken glass.
With the best equipped team in the nation, we have combined 2 generations of glass engineering with 7 technical degrees, 2 in-process patents, and decades of business experience to introduce a new reliable household name in American dining. We project that by adding 1 sales representative per year and help from social media ambassadors, we will be able to make an average of 16 sales per month, resulting in $378,000 in revenue in our first year. As we improve our marketing, we can expect our revenue to increase by 48% in year 2 and 68% in year 3, reaching $1.2 million in revenue by 2027. Costs associated with our process include outsourced glassware, our ion strengthening process, and labor. To produce 1 glass sold for an average of $7 per unit costs us $2.64, allowing us to operate at a 160% profit. Our total addressable U.S. market is currently valued at $28 billion, with a projected 5.56% increase by 2032. Our focus, the average U.S. restaurant, is a $1.4 billion market, with our initial target market in New York State making $28 million. This means if we increase our addressed market in New York State by 1% annually, that by year 2035, we will be bringing in $3.6 million in revenue as the company grows. So by reaching only 10% of the total U.S. market, we would reach $150.9 million in revenue annually. Our initial target market would be local restaurants and bars in New York State, with our first product line carrying wine, spirit, and pint glasses. Our first marketing campaign will start with hand-delivered 6 glass sample sets. This will give us direct and detailed feedback, building early on customer relationships.
Current actions for the company are to produce our first proof of concept products and have local restaurants test them out. Next steps are to build a more in-depth financial model based on our market research and create our online storefront. Our goal is to create B2B sales to caterers and larger restaurants across the East Coast. If Vitum Everlasting won the prize money, we would use these funds to upgrade our lab equipment and increase our staff, which will allow us to decrease the lead times on bulk customer orders.
Stop using your dad's red Solo cup when hosting parties and events. Elevate your presentation and eliminate your stress with Vitum Everlasting.
Governors, thank you for listening, and special thank you to our advisors, Dr. Wilforce and El Vasquez.
Hello, she's handing out to you now samples. They're glass rods. One of them has been ion exchange, one of them has not been ion exchange. We'll ask you to go ahead in the baggie and break the non-ion exchange glass rod. It shouldn't cut you anything.
You can go ahead and.
So you can feel how much force it takes to break that glass rod. Now we're going to ask you to break the non-ion exchange, or the ion exchange glass rod.
So
They
it takes.
are considerably more durable.
Oh.
One would say almost unbreakable.
Some of these, you've managed to break yours impressively. Yeah.
But it was much more difficult than the regular.
And that's just a very thin glass rod.
Most people get scared of the pressure before it gets to that point.
A lot of ice on it.
So great presentation. Identified the need. Now my question is, what is the average cost of glassware approximately for the non-ion exchange glass?
Yeah, so the average cost of glassware right now for the non-ion exchange is an average of $5 to $7 to the
Okay.
consumer. With the low end being where we came from at that 264 for bulk orders. That's the same bulk ordering company that most companies are getting their glassware from now. But our margin is that a company will not have to replace these. So our customer will end up paying back our upscaled price to that $7 within 3 years by not having to replace their glassware annually.
Do they stain? If like constant use, glass gets.
It's just regular glass. No, our
Regular.
glass. So any wear and tear that a regular glass would take as far as staining, that would happen to ours too. But we don't anticipate that being a problem.
Okay, thank you.
Great presentation. Question on the manufacturing process. So big expectations for revenue in those first 3 years. Is all the manufacturing done in-house? Can you farm it out? Are you able to ramp up that much production in the facility you have now?
So as of right now, the way we're looking at it is this is a business startup. We haven't started looking actually at manufacturing in mass per se. With our current lab size money that we would get, initial investors that we would get, that would go to upgrading the lab equipment for larger volume. Do you have anything to add to that?
Our current volume capabilities are about 6 glasses per 24 hours. So upscaling that, we predicted our cost price was in our manufacturing price, that 75 cents you saw, was based on us being able to fit up to 99 pieces of glassware in an oven and continue that process. So with an upgraded oven to do this bath process in, we would be able to hit those prices.
Okay, thanks. And then just one more quick one. You can make these glasses in any shape that you might find at your local watering hole, wine glass and a pint glass and a martini glass and the whole deal?
Yep.
Whatever shape that you can imagine a glass being now, we can. It's the same process. It's just a strengthening process to the glass.
Okay, thank you.
Just touching on the manufacturing again, would the plan be initially to manufacture locally?
Yes, the plan would be to manufacture locally. So we would want to start up our production stream in the local area, and we'd want to keep that business in the local area. So any lab equipment and lab that we develop essentially wouldn't move out of Allegany County.
Okay. And then your initial marketing plan was to reach out to local restaurants and customers. When your glasses aren't breaking, which is the whole point, they're just going to keep using them. Are you going to continue to reach back out to them to try and increase sales? Because they won't be calling to get replacements.
Right. So to increase sales, that's where we came in with that size of our target market and the size of our addressable possible market, even reaching 10% of the US possible market, which is well out of our now foreseeable perspective. That's why we had double question marks behind the number. We still find that we'd have a lot of options for marketability and for new customers to get in, as well as the sales that we predicted were off of adding 1 salesperson per year at a maximum call ratio that we thought that we could do, starting with us 2 being those salesperson. So the first year with a 7.5% conversion rate, which is the average startup conversion rate for sales calls, we would increase per year by 1.5 or 1%. And by the time we add 1 salesperson per year annually, we think we could reach those numbers.
Okay. And just real quick, you touched on it during the presentation, but elaborate a little bit more on the antibacterial glasses.
Yeah, thank you for that question. So the process
The difference between the antibacterial and the regular process is a different type of element that you would exchange the glass with. That's why it turns blue, just elemental spectrum features that we can't run around. So the antibacterial glasses would be blue based on that process, but it doesn't cost any more, although we could make a decision later to price those a little bit higher because it is strengthened and it is germicidal. So
you could imagine it kind of being like a coating.
Mhm.
It just where we apply that strengthening to the surface of the glass, though, it applies it to that surface. It stays with that surface. I wouldn't call it coating because it's ingrained into the glass structure at that point. So that germicidal property is a property of the glass. That's not a coating that's going to wear away. That will always be there as long as you have that glass.
Thank you.
One more quick one.
And we know it's patent pending. We made that clear.
Can you describe in a little more detail the difference between this product and Saxon Glass?
the difference between this product and Saxon Glass is that we are using a different process to make it. So right now, Saxon Glass holds the patent for applying this technology to their glass vials, and they're only sticking their processing into EpiPens right now. So they haven't expanded much farther from that market because it is an ever profitable market, as people are always going to be allergic to something. But with our market and with a different process, we can open up a new patent range that will do the same thing that Saxon Glass did, which is not allow anyone else on the market to use that. And our advantage edge is that once it's patented, we will be the only people that will be allowed to use that for our production.
Thank you.
Well, great job, everybody. That was amazing. The judges have a really tough choice. We are going to excuse them with Leanne to go off and deliberate. So that probably take 20 minutes or so. But we're going to continue the program on in here and have some videos and whatnot to display. So once they get going, we'll let them take their time. We'll show the next video that we have up will be Marnie Levine, who is the president and CEO of Launch New York. So we'll share that in just a few minutes. Oh, and gosh, I should also say, please take a time right now to vote for your favorite pitch on the Viewer's Choice Award. The link is on the YouTube channel and also right there as well if you want to pull that up. And we had some signs in the back, so please take a look and vote for your favorite pitch. You'll probably have about 15 minutes or so to make that selection.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marnie Levine, President and CEO. Yes. I too got started on my entrepreneurial journey as a student, as a graduate student. So I especially appreciate the passion and just general excitement about your ideas and really how you can bring products to market that often change the world in so many wonderful ways. So Launch New York is all about that support for startups, as I mentioned. We provide that through pro bono mentorship through entrepreneurs and presidents who work with over 350 startup companies each year to bring them forward to be able to raise investment capital. So today I'll talk about what that means in terms of the investment capital, but this is certainly a service that is available to those who are in upstate New York, and I'm pleased to say that we are recently expanding over to the capital region. So Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Southern Tier, Binghamton area, Corning, and the like are already part of our service area, Ithaca. But now we're heading eastward. So if that's an area that you're in and you think you have a high growth potential business, please feel free to go to launchy.org. So today I'll talk about the financing in brief, but what I want you to think about for yourselves is, first of all, Am I growing a small business or am I growing a scalable startup? So when we talk about a scalable startup, we use the measure of 10 million in annual revenues in 5 to 7 years. The idea of a high growth potential startup really connects directly to what kind of financing you ought to be going after. So you see Shark Tank. Well, the expectations of Mark Cuban and all the other sharks is that you're going to return many times their dollars, not simply what you might see in debt financing where you take a loan and there's a percentage of that that you pay on top of the principal. So what are they looking for? They're looking for you to give them 3, 4, 5, even 10 times the amount of money that they put in, which means you need to grow a lot. So scalable businesses generally are employing ultimately many, if not hundreds of employees. Early on, of course, they're small, as our companies are, but they are looking to sell product in a much broader geography than just in the local neighborhood. So I want all of you to think about what you're doing, because if you are scaling, you're going to need much more than a single loan, generally speaking, to get your business off the ground. So consider whether you need debt versus equity financing, because Launch New York provides not only pro bono mentorship, but then access to what is the most active seed fund in New York State. We are looking for you to have a pitch, yes indeed, just like you're doing here, that is analyzed for the promise of the business, because we know that many of the companies have little or no revenue when you're presenting to us. So as you think about your pathway, we generally are looking to help support you in those initial phases, and Launch New York will generally help you set up what is your first institutional investment capital, meaning we'll help you figure out what are the terms of those investment dollars, kind of like they do on Shark Tank, but not quite the same pressure. That being said, for you to think about what do I need these funds for? What size business am I really trying to grow? I will share with you one of the most exciting stories we had is a college student in Rochester who wanted to go to med school, but ultimately was not able due to very serious health problems. This is a company called Agape, and getdailyagape.com is the site you can visit, where she determined that not only for herself was it important to really dig into her important relationships in her life, but that that's something others should be doing as well. So she created this company based on her own experience, and we were able to get her started with her first beta test. She was not a software developer, so she was able to find tech talent to assist her. And she quickly had significant downloads from TikTok that turned her business into what now is significant revenues and 7 figures in investment capital from the likes of Carlone Capital. So this is a really tremendous story that we know all of you can think about for your future. So we look forward to you considering what kind of pathway for yourself and what kind of tools you're going to need, particularly in the financing arena. So I encourage you to consider Launch New York, as well as the group that's surrounding you today provides you all kinds of support to find your pathway forward. With that, I wish you all the best and look forward to hearing from some of you at launchy.org.
Thank you. And then next we have a video from our local state senator, George Borrello.
Hi, I'm Senator George Borrello. It's my honor to extend a warm welcome to the teams representing Alfred State College and Alfred University at the 4th Annual Allegany County Startup Collegiate Competition. This is a valuable program and one that has the potential to open up new horizons for you. Entrepreneurs are the pioneers of progress and creativity. They also drive our economy. Small businesses in New York State employ over half of our state's private sector workforce. No matter the outcome of today's competition, this experience has taught you lessons that will benefit you as you go forward. I know that because I myself was a young entrepreneur. I recall the uncertainty and the excitement of founding my company, Top Shelf Marketing, in my early 20s. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of trial and error, but it was a tremendous learning experience and the starting point for what will become a lifelong business career. Today's gig economy offers limitless opportunities for people who have the vision and drive to realize their goals. To all the teams competing today, I say good luck. Your accomplishments are a testament to your character and ambition. Regardless of the outcome, be proud of what you learned along this journey. I would also like to thank IncubatorWorks and all the sponsors involved in organizing this event. Opportunities like this one can be transformative for students. We all benefit when the next generation is inspired to dream, achieve, and succeed. You are the future of New York State. Thank you and best wishes for a great event.
Thank you. And next we have a video from the CAT, which is Center for Advanced Ceramic Technology from Alfred University, which is one of the sponsors and hosts.
The Center for Advanced Ceramic Technology is an Empire State Development NYSTAR funded unit within the New York State College of Ceramics at Alfred University. All of those NYSTAR funded units' goal is to speed up technology transfer from universities and academic research into the marketplace in order to enhance New York State economic development. Our Center for Advanced Ceramic Technology focuses on Alfred University and the New York State College of Ceramics' core strengths in ceramic and glass technologies and science. Specifically, our focus areas and expertise of our faculty and researchers is on characterization of materials and processing of those materials and the fundamental research behind ceramic and glass technologies.
Our labs are uniquely equipped to characterize materials from powders, starting with powder characterization, up through processing and forming, into sintering and densification, and final properties after creating a sintered and densified part, such as physical and mechanical properties, even to extremely high temperatures. Here at the Center for Advanced Ceramic Technology, we've worked on all materials, ranging from traditional ceramics such as porcelains, which are industrially important, to advanced ceramics such as silicon carbide for armor applications, zirconia for hip replacement joints, and other materials such as biomaterials and electronic materials here at Alfred. Sometimes when you're working with a client, you're not sure what the next test will need to be, and having all of the equipment available for us to do the testing streamlines that process. So if I need to do a new test, if I was somewhere else, I'd have to go find that test to get it done. Here, I can do it in-house.
Here in the CAT at Alfred University, we have two suites of instrumentation. We have the high temperature materials characterization tools, and then we also have high temperature materials properties measurements capability. And we team those together. When we team those two together, we're able to look at fundamentally how to invent, develop new materials, but we also can learn in a really efficient way how to manufacture those materials or how to scale them up. So X-ray diffraction, or even more generally, actually scattering, is used to tell how atoms fit together in materials. And so with that knowledge of how atoms fit together, we do two things. We can figure out why materials work the way they do, and then we can also figure out how to make them. Spectrometers are a little different. They allow us to look at a very local scale of atom to atom. So that allows us to do something really interesting, which is to look at glasses as well as ceramics. And so we have a really long history here at Alfred in glass science and studies of glass. We can do these experiments at high temperature. We can do them under controlled gas atmosphere. We can do them with controlled electric field, magnetic field, etc.
Our Center for Advanced Ceramic Technology here at Alfred University is really a conduit for our students and our faculty and our research staff to be able to partner very directly with industry to help them with their research needs.
Saxon Glass Technologies chemically strengthens glass products. The primary product that we produce is the chemically strengthened glass carpet and EpiPens. The other business products are centrifuge tubes, chemically strengthened to take high spins, and flat glass covers, which can go into the cell phone devices. We have used Alfred University's high energy electron beam equipment, the X-ray equipment, the mechanical testing equipment, and optical bioluminescence equipment to control the quality of the product that goes out.
Foster Rush is a consulting company that specializes in electronics, nanotechnology, and clean tech. We also are involved in the design and manufacturing of custom process and test equipment. The ceramic materials that we're working with are dielectric and piezoelectric materials, as well as low temperature co-fired ceramics. The advantages of an industry academic partnership like CACT is our ability to access state-of-the-art manufacturing equipment and the expertise of faculty at a very reasonable cost without the capital expenditure that we would incur as a small company. In addition, we have exposure to students that could potentially be employees of not only our own company, but also our customers.
The future is very exciting in the space of ceramics, glass, and engineering in general. Of course, computer and data analytics are becoming a huge part of that space as well. So understanding material informatics and how those can inform our research in the ceramics and material science space will be a huge part of the future direction that the industry will be going, and that our students need to be equipped as they enter the workforce.
So next we have a short video from one of our other sponsors, Allegheny County and the Western New York Wilds. Okay, great. So we're going to wrap up with a presentation about IncubatorWorks, and then when we're done with that, they're going to come in magically with the winner announcement, I hope. So this is Ashley Madison, our Executive Director.
Thank you, Kimberly. And let's make sure I can work technology correctly. Maybe. Oh, let's see if I click on this twice. Maybe it's this button. Nope, that turned it off. Well, how do I double click it? Oh, here we go.
2023 AHA Startup Collegiate Competition.
We're really glad to have you here. We're really excited.
Is it playing on your end?
You get to take part in this competition. Thank you very much. I think it's going for it.
Welcome to the
There we go.
2023
Thank you.
AHA Startup Collegiate Competition.
We're really glad to have you here. I'm really excited that you get to take part in this competition. Thank you very much.
I think it's going first. I was nervous at first. I got there and it was just about actually having fun.
What you think you start with is not what you're going to end with. And it's like fun.
It's a great opportunity, no matter if you're going to win or lose, you're still experiencing all of stuff.
I think overall, yeah, I had a great experience. It's great to get to know one another.
I love working with these two, and I'd love to work with them on ventures in the future.
I was sitting there, I was nervous, I was saying, oh man, what am I gonna say,
No, but he knew everything to say, so.
We both agreed that
we took just as much from, let's say, this month-long process than any class we've taken from.
If somebody's got ideas that they want to like actually implement, this is a great way to look at, okay, is this feasible? Is this something I actually have passion towards?
I would say my biggest piece of advice is come into it being like prepared to learn. Don't come in thinking that you know everything regardless of how put together or not put together your idea may be.
Thank you to IncubatorWorks for being able to put on this awesome event. We've learned a lot. I know other students have learned a lot. We've had a lot of fun with our advisors, other students who are in the competition, and really getting to meet the community of people.
To have this sort of experience where anybody can kind of join is really great, not only for us, but also for Allegheny County.
Some tips I would give would be, if you start something, finish it. It's okay to change and take it seriously. IncubatorWorks works.
IncubatorWorks works.
IncubatorWorks works.
All right, and there we have it. So that was last year's competition. And like I announced earlier, Ashley Madison, Executive Director of IncubatorWorks. So this is our newest location. We actually have 3 incubators. This is our 3rd incubator. This is in Elmira at Corning Community College. And a fun factoid for those of you that are utilizing mentorship like you did for this competition, or if you continue in your entrepreneurial endeavors, anytime you access a quote unquote expert to help you develop your idea, after 5 years, businesses that were nurtured in a business incubator have a success survival rate of 87%. That is a very staggering statistic for after the 5-year kind of valley of death that sometimes happens with our small businesses in our communities. These are the other 2 locations that we have, of course. So right down the road, we have our Alfred Incubator, which is up top. And the company that we heard about earlier, Saxon Glass, has actually been a tenant in that incubator for a very long time. So it's really fun to know that we have such a fantastic manufacturer in our community like Saxon Glass that is doing life-saving technology with glass. And then this one down here is our Corning facility. So down the road from Corning Incorporated, we also serve Schuyler County. So we also serve Watkins Glen. So we're Elmira, Corning, Allegany with Alfred, and then Watkins Glen. And you do not need to be a resident in our incubator to access any of our services. We have quite a few programs that I want to talk about outside of the scope of the collegiate competition that we are here for today. We have 3 different types of customers that we serve, of course, which I spoke about earlier, which are the adults, the college students, and our high school students. We also wear 2 different hats when we think about our consumers and our customer base. That is that we serve Main Street businesses, and then we serve ceramics and glass sciences business. Alfred University is a world-renowned, so globally world-renowned ceramics and glass sciences school, and we are so fortunate to have them right in our backyard. With that said, we are the only ceramics and glass incubator in the world, which is also fantastic. And we're always leveraging the CAT with John Simmons and what Dave Gottfried are doing, which we're so grateful for that. So for our programming, we have a 12-week business accelerator class. What that does is it takes your idea that you have, and over a 12-week period, you validate that idea. It is very crucially important to the success of your business that you figure out if that idea is viable or not, because sometimes we have a side hustle, we have a hobby, we want to turn our cupcake thing into a business. We open up that business and we found out we started that cupcake business where there's no customers, and we put all our life savings into it and it wasn't viable. So it's very important that you spend the time ahead of opening your business to find out if it is viable. We also have a business plan program, because if you want to take that quote unquote viable idea to the bank, you need a business plan. And Albert will attest to this, since he is part of a CDFI in Rochester, how important business plans are in order to access traditional, non-traditional grants, any type of funding, as well as investors like Marnie Levine just spoke to us earlier about. We have prototyping programs, so new to the Elmira space, and that is Terrell in the Elmira space. Our Chemung County program manager is our makerspace. So we're excited to get that up and running for different programs for our community members that has to do with prototyping, for any entrepreneurs that have to develop a prototype for a product. And then we have our youth programs for our Elmira High School students. Right now, they have a 7-week program that they are participating in every summer. They get paid for this program, which is super cool. They learn how to be an entrepreneur. They also develop an idea like all of you have and pitch that with a team at the end. We also take them on local college visits. So local is pretty broad, right? We take them to Alfred State. We take them to Alfred U. We took them to RIT. We took them to Corning Community College, Elmira College, and Broome Community College. A lot of these students will never have an opportunity to physically stand on a college campus to feel what that feels like. So if you think back to when you visited different colleges and when you stood on those campuses, you thought, okay, this feels like me, this doesn't feel like me, where do I want to go? That is one of the opportunities we are providing. And then we also take those students to local industry. We want them to know all of the opportunities outside of high school. So whether they choose a traditional route of college or whether they choose to go into the trades and maybe a manufacturer, we want them to know what it feels like to also stand on a manufacturing floor and what those local industry leaders look like in the communities that we live and work in. We have a co-working space. It's so very important when you are developing an idea to have like-minded conversations about your ideas, and entrepreneurship can be lonely. You are no longer going to a place of work where you're having friends or colleagues that you're talking to every day. Sometimes you are by yourself in your home office. And so you need to bounce ideas off of someone, which is where a co-working space is so fantastic. Mentoring and networking. The networking, of course, goes hand in hand with entrepreneurship being lonely. Mentoring is what our wonderful mentors have provided today. We have small business boot camps. If you cannot commit to a 12-week business class, then what do you do, right? So a boot camp is really great for someone that cannot commit to a 12-week course where it will be a weekend model or something of the similar nature. And there we go. These are some of the entrepreneurs that we have served. So IncubatorWorks has helped many entrepreneurs. These are some individuals that have participated in our business plan program. So we are, in the Finger Lakes wine region. Do we get a lot of Finger Lakes wine entrepreneurs? Not really, but this is one of the ones that we did. So Little Clover Wine Company, and sparkling wine, rather. I have to be very specific on that one. JB Wings and Things food truck. So Venjara said, I really want to open up a food truck. It doesn't need to be outside of the box. It doesn't need to be this really huge culinary endeavor, but we need really good, solid food in our community. For the community that we serve. So he does fried food and it is amazing. Then we have the Juice Collective. So Latika came to us with her family from California, where of course juice bars are very popular. And so she brought something to our community from California. She's doing absolutely fantastic. She's in the Arnott Mall right now, which is the only mall close to here aside from Rochester. And she's actually expanding. She's going to open up a second location in downtown Elmira. Sergeant Stanley's Catering. So this is also kind of a virtual catering business. And Sergeant Stanley has a really great menu of catering options. There are not too many caterers in our community, so he has a really great niche. And then Soupopotamus, she takes fresh local ingredients and freeze dries them into packaged soups. And she is at a lot of different vendor markets and such in the Corning and Elmira and Watkins Glen community. New Energy New York. What is New Energy New York? So we are part of this grant in conjunction with Binghamton University. One of the things that is coming to this part of New York when we think about where we sit in Allegany, Schuyler, Steuben, and Chemung counties is the battery innovation. So what we found out during COVID was that our battery technology was offshored. And almost every single thing that we use has batteries in it. I'm actually standing here today with 3 things. I have a phone in my pocket that has a battery, I have a mic that has a battery, and I have this clicker that has a battery. Aside from everything else in this room that needs a battery, aside from our vehicles that have batteries and many other things. And so it was crucially important that we reshored that technology. And so Stan Whittingham, who is the inventor of the lithium battery, is faculty at Binghamton. And there was an opportunity through the president to apply for a grant to reshore our battery technology. So that's what Binghamton is doing. And IncubatorWorks is part of that grant. We fit into the equity and justice part of that grant. And so a lot of the programs that I just shared with you are how we are part of that. And here is the curriculum of that 12-week business accelerator that I told you about earlier that helps you validate your idea. So knowing yourself. So that is really finding out who you are at the core to figure out, if I am a procrastinator, how will I successfully run a business? You can. I'm not saying you can't because you're a procrastinator, but you need to figure out who are you at your core in order to run your business. Knowing the customer, of course, figuring out who is your perfect customer. It's not everyone, you know. So who is your customer? Finding the right solution. Marketing, pricing and forecasting sales. Have to understand those numbers, cost and gross profit, expenses, and cash flow projections. Legal and accounting matters. So we have a lot of guests come into our co-starters program. So we have attorneys come in, we have CPAs, we have insurance brokers, because you need to make sure that you're pairing the correct insurance with whatever your legal entity is. And then the last few there, financing your business, pitch preparations. You're all very familiar with that. Intro to that business plan program. And then the co-starters, they also pitch their idea at the chance to win $500. So a little less than what you all are pitching for today. Of that co-starters program, so of that 12-week business accelerator, we have had 121 participants. We've been doing this for a handful of years. We started serving Main Street entrepreneurs about 7 years ago, but the co-starters program was started about 4 to 5 years ago. We are going to be starting our 14th cohort in May. Time is flying by. 31% of our customers are from the BIPOC community, 3% veterans, 63% women. Women really like to start their own small businesses. And then you'll see of those participants, the counties that we serve on the left. So Chemung County comes in strong at 58. Steuben is next. Allegany, and then Schuyler and other. Why other? As you all know, you have connections outside of this community. And so every once in a while, we will get individuals from New York City. We will get individuals from California. And that is because we are a very unique incubator in that we also serve entrepreneurs outside of the high-tech, high-growth space. So if someone in New York City needs help with their Main Street business, or they need help getting their fintech marketing business up and running, when they go to those high scale growth incubators in New York, they are turned away. And so then they come to us because they have a friend or a family member in our community, and we certainly help them. We want everyone, especially in New York and our surrounding states, to have success. Here are some of our business plan class graduates. Over the last 2 years of that New Energy New York grant, we have been able to provide $63,000 in participant support stipends to the business plan graduates. So if you participate in the 12-week accelerator, you are eligible to then enter the business plan class. If you succeed in writing your business plan, you are eligible for a $3,000 participant support stipend. And $3,000 is a nice chunk of change to get your business up and running. Is this a video? Can you play this for me? This is our last graduation a couple weeks ago.
Thank you for coming tonight. You all have invested your time, energy, and brain power into the last several months.
My experience working with IncubatorWorks has been fabulous. They have literally helped me to literally get out of my seat and do what I need to do for my business.
I've been working with IncubatorWorks since about at least 2016. They've been giving me guidance and inspiration all along. With a little bit of help from Nancy and IncubatorWorks and Ashley and everybody involved, my mom and I became not just another catering company, not just a little, mom and pop, but right now we're one of 3 of the main caterers in this southern tier area.
IncubatorWorks, I can't say enough good things about them. I went through their co-starter cohort where we did a pitch presentation and really just kind of get the juices flowing, the ideas going, and then that led into this program with the business plan, and they've just been a huge supporter.
Just don't give up. Congratulations, and move forward.
Have a great night.
With that, I don't want to delay any longer because I think our judges are back with a decision. So I will pass this over to Kim and we will do the announcements.
Perfect, yes.
I'll just let everyone know when we announce the winners, we're going to announce the viewer's choice first. So those folks can stand up and say hello and we'll applaud. And then for the third, second, and first, we'll have you come on down and we'll have some pictures being taken of that. So let me announce first the Viewer's Choice Award. We had over 200 voters, so that's really exciting. So the winner of the $250, which will be split amongst your team, is Campus Forum from Alfred State College. Thank you. Okay. So then our third place team, we'll have you guys come on down, will be Pioneer from Alfred State College, and they'll win $1,000. Just take your picture taken there. Thank you. Good job. All right, our second place winner, which team will win $2,500, is Insights into Answers from Alfred University. Okay, great. Want to bring the big check over here, hide it though. So we have our first place winners. This team will be winning $5,000, and the winning team is Vitum Everlasting from Alfred University. Congratulations. Here's a big check. So we'll get some shots of you with just the check, and then we'll jump in with you. Congratulations to everyone. You all did a great job. Oh, so shoot. Well, we'll hop in for the photo for the IncubatorWorks people. Oh, Dr. LaCourse, thank you. All right, we're going to hop in. Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, we have some. Before you guys leave, let's do another shot with the judges, and then we have some pastries or punch and cupcakes across the hall. So feel free to grab those as you're heading out. And thank you to everyone. This is a great night. Yes. Yes, thank you.
Everybody down? Why don't you go start right outside in front of that little navigator, and I'll go grab my little baby drum. Yeah, can we get Peter? Can we get a shot with the judges? Yeah. Judges, can I get a picture? You guys really